Hi, and welcome to Across the Desk. This week, we're going to discuss the Oklahoma State Supreme Court decision when it comes to not allowing State Question 820, the state question to end marijuana prohibition in Oklahoma. Anyway, the State Supreme Court is not going to allow it to be on the 2022 ballot. And that's what we're going to discuss this week here on Across the Desk. So, State Question 820. There was a petition that went around earlier this year, garnered a lot of signatures, way more than necessary to appear on the ballot. So they did this way in advance, turned in the signatures months before the election was to be had, and all of a sudden, it's not going to appear on the 2022 ballot. Now, a lot of people may go, that sounds kind of like politics at play. And you may be right, because when I dug into this, man, did I come up with something. I came up with really one name, one guy who's at the center of all of this. His name is Bill Shepard. Now, I don't know if you know who Bill Shepard is, but he's the founder and CEO of SoonerPoll. You know SoonerPoll, the one who takes polling of Oklahoma elections and they always weight it towards Republicans. Now, that's nothing deception or lying about it. They even come out and say, hey, look, this poll is weighted heavily towards Republicans. So that's how we do it here. And that's how he does it here in Oklahoma. And he's pretty much a conservative hack when it comes to polling, when it comes to campaigning, and when it comes to helping doing the bidding of people in power in our state. That's what Bill Shepard does. And that's pretty much what happened here with State Question 820. I'm almost positive, because if we go down to what happened. So, you have this organization to put together State Question 820 on legalizing marijuana in Oklahoma. We're going to end prohibition of marijuana. It does more than that. It also expunges records, does a bunch of criminal justice reform stuff. It does a whole lot of other things as well. Well, they did this count and everything else, and now they send it to the state to verify the signatures. Well, the Senate, or the legislature, let's just say the whole legislature body, because it's got to go back to House and Senate, passed a bill and it was signed into law on petitions. Basically, instead of in-house signature verification like they were doing, now we're going to use a third-party private group. Privatization. That's what this is. We're going to privatize counting these signatures to verify that they're good and that there are enough. So that's what they did. So what did they do? The Secretary of State went, because the law says I'm going to hire somebody. He went to a place called Western Petition Systems. Now, who owns Western Petition Systems? Well, you might have guessed it. Bill Shepard. Yeah, the same guy who's the CEO and owner of SoonerPoll. The polling company that does all the polling for everybody, all the news stations and everywhere. So fair and balanced. I'm sure he is. But anyway, getting back to this. So Bill Shepard owns SoonerPoll. He also owns Western Petition Systems. Well, Western Petition Systems, they were the company that was contracted to verify the signatures on the petition for State Question 820. Now, there were some really curious things about Western Petition Systems when I looked these guys up. For one, Bill Shepard's the CEO. Wow, that guy's got his hands in a lot of things. So here's a guy who's verifying our signatures, who's obviously a conservative political hack, on a bill, not a bill, but a petition that could compete with the governor on the 2022 ballot. And now, when it comes to Bill Shepard and his connections, they run pretty deep. He's got the media, the Secretary of State, the governor's office, all kinds of people. Not only that, he also got his start before SoonerPoll. He started doing polling and analytics for a campaign in 1996. Yeah, a conservative Republican in Oklahoma. He was his campaign analytic guy. That's what he did. He did polling for him. So that's what he is. Not only that, to let you know that this guy is a conservative hack, the guy is also a guest blogger for OCPA, Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs. The people that state that they are a conservative think tank. So this guy, Bill Shepard, is a guest blogger for them. That tells you something, right? Do you think he's very middle of the road? Do you think he's a liberal? Or do you think he's a conservative? I bet he's very conservative, especially if he knows people in OCPA who are some of the most conservative wackos you'll ever meet in this state. Anyway, well, wait a minute. I guess that would make Bill Shepard a conservative wacko, since he actually is, very in bed with OCPA as their guest blogger. So this guy's got his hand in a lot of things. He's the CEO and founder of Soonerpoll. He's the CEO and founder of Western Petition Systems, and he's also the guest blogger for Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs, the conservative think tank. That's who Bill Shepard is. And so now he's verifying our signatures. Yeah, he's verifying our signatures. So what do you think happened to these signatures? Well, it took them a while to count them all. It took them a while to verify them. And it took them about 3 times as long as the state was doing it in-house. Oh, and it cost about 10 times as much. I might have that backwards. It probably took 3 times as long. It took 10 times as long and cost 3 times as much. But regardless, it was a total fiasco because, for one, the equipment that Bill Shepard had bought for his company worked sometimes. And when it did work, it would put out garbled text. You know, kind of like their website. Because whenever I went to Western Petition Systems website, one of the things I did was I went to the About section. Hey man, I want to learn more about Bill Shepard. And wow, I was like, what language is this? You know, it's Latin. It's in Latin. So the Get to Know Our Team page is all in Latin. So I had to translate it, and it came up with some garbled kind of like text that you're like, what is this? Did you get hacked? Did you mean to do this? What is this? I don't know. I think maybe they got hacked or something. At first I figured, oh man, do I got my translator on or something? I better check. No, all the other pages to his website, they're in English. So it's his page. On the Get to Know Our Team page, it's all in Latin. So maybe that's what was happening to his machine, spitting out something all in Latin that nobody could read. So they ended up doing a manual count anyway, which took a really long time. Well, it just took a long time. Well, that's a fiasco. I'm sorry. You're less efficient than what the state was doing before, and it cost us a lot more money to do it. Oh, and while you took the time to count and verify these signatures, well, you didn't give the people that put the petition up a whole lot of time to put it out, get it in public, and have challenges come and address them. They didn't give them enough time to do that. But you know what? That's not a mistake. I'm almost positive it didn't. Now, Bill Shepard will tell you what, things happened and it was a mistake. No, it wasn't. This is the plan. He knows too many people to not have it the plan. Look, Bill Shepard is a pollster. He knows because there's a story that talks about how many more Democrats were enthused, how many more Democrats registered, and how many more Democrats voted in 2018 when medical marijuana was on the ballot. He knows this. He's the pollster who did the data for it. So he knows. He knows that if State Question 820, to end the prohibition of marijuana in Oklahoma, gets on the ballot for 2022, there's a good chance a lot of Democrats are going to win, especially statewide races. And we have 2 U.S. Senate races, the lieutenant governor, the education superintendent. We have all kinds. So there's all kinds of national races as well as statewide state races that are in play here. So they don't want that on the ballot. It'll drive Democrats to the polls, and they know this. So Bill Shepard slow-walked it. And he told them, hey, I'll be your scapegoat, and tell them, well, I fiascoed it. My machines didn't work. And then I had to hire my family to come in part-time and help me count, which is exactly what he did. The part-time workers and stuff that he supplied to meet the requirements and everything else, they were family. They were family members doing this. He had family doing this. That's what it came down to. And the fact that he's an OCPA blogger, that's got to be suspect right there. That's really suspect. They're really against medical marijuana. They're really against ending the prohibition of marijuana. And I'm talking about OCPA. These are people that Bill Shepard is directly allied with. Directly. So you don't think he's doing any kind of bidding for anybody? You don't think he does any talking? You don't think that he allies with these people too? And that maybe he slow-walked this count to make it harder to make it to the ballot? I almost would bet on it. I would count on it. That's exactly why they slow-walked this. That's exactly why they did it. So that it wouldn't appear on the 2020 ballot, because it scares them. They know it'll drive Democrats to the polls if it shows up. So what happens now? Well, by the Constitution, is supposed to appear on the next election, next general election, which is this coming election. But the Supreme Court said in Oklahoma, well, you've got to allow this process for people to protest it. And it didn't give them enough time to do that. Of course, people like Bill Shepard and Kevin Stitt and our Secretary of State, they know this. They absolutely know this. It's why we did it this way. It's why they flubbed it and took 10 times as long to count and cost 3 times as much money. It's exactly why. It's exactly why. And Bill Shepard doesn't mind taking the fall as long as conservatives win. I'm almost positive. He had a lot of people say, hey man, you got to slow walk this thing. We almost know that. We all know that. We know it. There's no way to get out of it. But yeah, what happens? So, if the governor doesn't call for a special election to put it on a ballot somewhere, just special, anytime, then it'll appear on the 2024 ballot general election. 2024. You have to wait 2 years. I wonder how cool the energy will be on ending prohibition in Oklahoma. I wonder how they expect that to cool down voters before that time. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just thinking 2022 we have to win it. Because honestly, this could drive Democrats to the polls in 2024. Though, in 2024 you won't have the Senate races on there. 2024 you won't have the governor's race or the lieutenant governor's race. You'll have the representative races. And that's pretty much it. So that's almost the best bet for Republicans, conservatives, to put it on there. Screw the people of Oklahoma, even though it was way more signatures than they needed to get this on the ballot. Because when it comes to the republic and when it comes to democracy, today's conservatives, they really don't like those things. They don't like them. They don't want them. They want the power for themselves, and they want the control for themselves. See, Kevin Stitt doesn't like marijuana, even if 70% of the people in Oklahoma agree it ought to be legal. See, he wants to represent that 25-27% of outliers who want to cling to some old-fashioned ways and force everybody else to live the way they want. Democracy, republic, representation, that stuff needs to go away to these guys. Doesn't matter. They're in control, and it needs to stay that way. And that's how they think. And you can see it with this, State Question 820. And you can see it with how Bill Shepard handled, Western petition systems handled the verification process. The guy's a shill. The guy's a conservative hack. He's been involved in way too many things not to be. And, well, there you go. State Question 820. Ending prohibition of marijuana in Oklahoma. Won't be on the ballot for 2022. We'll have to wait. Special election or 2024. This is Across the Desk with Kit Fairchild. And we'll see you next week.